Hello, and welcome to another tale plucked right from the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your diligent host, Lothran, and I'm ever so excited to be here tonight. So let's dive right in, shall we? Go snag a fulfilling meal, settle into a wonderfully comfortable spot, and pay precise attention to Grahlings Part 2, Simple Instruction. So, why do you allow them to pass the order back and forth? Vaughn asked of his teacher. Domir turned to face his pupil, pushing one arm out of the concealment of his heavy cape, his well-worn and used armor shifting easily with his motions. The aged Boo wasting no time as he brought up a series of hexagonal displays to instruct his student. Here, this is me passing the order to the Grahling in question. A simple item request. The display showed the world through the little creature's eyes, and then as it emerged out into the seventh ring from slightly behind and above its head, it picked up a shield and a spear as an attack siren blared from its corner of the ring. Several minutes of intense battle rang out as Vu Growling smashed and tore at a force of invading Zir Growlings. The one being followed fell to an arrow, but was hauled to safety by its fellows. Another, back at the sixth ring, removed the missile from his chest and sewed up the damage, plucking the work order from the original's unconscious mind. "Work order!" she shouted into the hall beyond. A Growling with its massive arms full of pilfered enemy weapons awkwardly entered the room and sidestepped up beside her. She pushed the flat, square, translucent order into the Growling's mind, thanking him for his service. "Thank you, Growling." "Welcome," he replied, and sped off, wobbling his way across the rings under the weight of his burden. He hobbled his way to a foundry on the opposite side of the third ring unceremoniously. "Salvage!" he yelled to the blacksmiths. "Thank you!" one of their number shouted while ceaselessly slamming a hammer into a blazing red-hot rod of steel. "Need something?" an apprentice asked of the waiting Growling who was still standing there. The work mule Growling reached into the personal space of his head, pulling forth the work order. "Gotta go back to the front. Always more work to do." He nodded as the other Growling agreed, happily taking the work order from him and inserting it into his own head. "Gotta pick up more coal anyway. Be right back, boss." One of the other Growling blacksmiths waved him off as the apprentice and the mule left about their business. The apprentice went to the true south on fifth ring, getting into a small line to wait to be served at a storage depot for a little while. "Hello, I need 2 orders of coal for the salvage forges," he asked of the Growling that greeted him with a fang-filled smile, also pulling the order out of his mind and placing it on the counter. "Order set at exchange," one of the storage Growlings instructed the apprentice with a scream as he picked up the Vu order and inserted it into his head. His pupils flashed a brilliant red gleam and then faded back to their normal golden triangles. "I'm better! I'm ready to advance," he announced, receiving a flurry of celebration and hugs from his comrades. "I have to go to advancement. Sorry for the inconvenience." "It's okay. We'll miss you, but we understand. We're happy for you as well." The sprawling manager of the storage depot gave his former subordinate a final hug and then sent him on his way. "I understood the process already," Vaughn began, "but how does it benefit the Growlings to trade the orders more than just supplying them with individual or broad-stroke directions? That's what I don't get." Domir sighed into the fingers of his left hand. "I thought I was making it as clear as possible. Okay. 1 order equals a very small amount of growth to each Growling, but it will take millions of such commands for even a modicum of mental growth to occur." Domir zoomed in on each of the displays at the moment of the order of insertion, and then brought up copies of each display and progressed them to the point where the order was removed from a Growling's mind. You can see at the point of entry on the first delivery, the command has only what was originally intended to be on it. My favorite code at the moment is the single transfer loop. You put too many in the system and the Grahlings go completely mental, so I stick to one. Also note it has a secondary instruction. That way, Grahlings go do a task and pass a little bit of themselves on to the next in line. Here, the first extraction. You see that? Gold lettering, it looks like. Random words and phrases. Are these the thoughts of the Grahling that went into the battle? Vaughn asked of his teacher. Sort of. They think in words and feelings, but represented in shapes and colors. So these gold triangles, this is very common in a battle. The color is most often a representation of courage, and the shape is camaraderie. So, the Grahlings are passing experiences to one another with the orders that they exchanged, that you gave them? Is that what you're going for? Vaughn asked, still unsure of what was happening. Yes, but it's important to note that it doesn't always happen. The doctor didn't pass one on. She didn't put it in mind, but she can still pass a feeling color just by grabbing it. Here, Thomir zoomed into the apprentice, removing the word and color, plastered order, and placing it on the counter before him. See this? Thomir pointed out that when the depot worker grabbed the ethereal document, he added a gray feeling to much of its border, and then inserted it into his mind. My theory, my theory is that after a certain amount of mixture is on the instruction, and the right emotion is layered onto that, the resulting feedback forces some sort of reactionary process within the mind of the Grahling in question. That sounds like it could be dangerous, though, Vaughn suggested, rather worried for Grahlings undergoing this process. It can be, but to keep such aberrations to a minimum, I wrote a self-destruct into the code if the Grahling is under any danger of harm to their mental processes. How much faster is this method over the other ones? It only takes 1,000 or so orders being encountered at all to encourage growth over the previous stat. That is extraordinarily faster, sir, Vaughn exclaimed. Is there a reason other than the freak out not to provide more orders in a day? I'm still testing the procedure, working on its utmost and best methodology in all situations. That's why I asked you to examine it. I think perhaps, as it's my invention, that I'm a little too close to it to alter it into a better functioning system just yet. Well, what do you need me for, sir? Surely you don't think I could improve it? Well, you might. Never count yourself out of an endeavor before you've at least given it an attempt or 10. More importantly, your time here is nearly complete, so you'll enter half status and you'll have to pick another to establish your first shared rings with. After that, your life is up to you. I'll be submitting my evidence and reports soon, but the more gathered info, the faster the invention is processed. You want me to help push the process along? I'll think about it, sir. It certainly seems to have its merits, though I'd like to look at the code around the failsafe. Can never be too careful when it comes to such script. And so it is. Our time together has once more come to its conclusion. As always, I've been your studious host, Lothran, and this was Grahlings Part 2, Simple Instruction. Another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. Korvoth, guide them back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, Sir Lothran. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. None of that terrible, rude, or mean stuff, though. You keep that to yourself. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. Don't forget, we strongly implore each and every one of you to do your absolute utmost to stay safe out there. Good night and good luck, everyone. You'll need it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye.